The Galactic Empire had ruled for 3,000 years. Their massive ships moved between star systems like iron wolves hunting sheep. Every species they met had two choices: submit or burn. That Captain Alex Stone stood on the bridge of humanity's newest battleship, the Defiance. Through the viewing screen, he watched the Empire's messenger ship approach Earth's outer defense ring. The alien vessel was sleek and dark, built for intimidation rather than beauty. "They're sending a transmission," reported Lieutenant Tom Baker. From his station. The main screen flickered. A tall, gray-skinned alien appeared. Its eyes were cold black orbs, and its voice carried the weight of absolute authority. "Humans of the third planet," the alien began. "I am Commander Vex of the Imperial Fleet. Your species has been selected for integration into the Empire. You will surrender your weapons, disband your military forces, and prepare for occupation. You have 7 of your days to comply." Alex felt his jaw tighten. Around the bridge, his crew exchanged grim looks. They had all heard the stories from other worlds. Integration meant slavery. Occupation meant the end of human freedom. "This is Captain Stone of Earth Defense," Alex replied. "We reject your demands. Humanity will not bow to any empire." The alien's expression did not change. "Then you choose destruction. The Empire has crushed 1,000 species who thought themselves strong. You are not special, human." The transmission ended. The messenger ship turned and jumped to hyperspace, leaving behind only empty space and a promise of war. "Admiral Lisa." Gray's voice crackled over the comm system from Earth Command. "All ships, this is Admiral Gray. Condition red across all sectors. The Empire has drawn first blood on dozens of worlds. But today, Earth draws the line. No further." Alex looked at his crew. These were not professional soldiers from some military academy. They were farmers, teachers, mechanics, and shop owners who had volunteered when the call came. Earth's population was only 8 billion, scattered across one small system. The Empire controlled millions of worlds, but humans had something the Empire had never encountered. They called it stubbornness. Others might call it courage. "Set course for the outer marker," Alex ordered. "All defense stations, prepare for full engagement. Today we find out what we're really made of." The Defiance moved forward, followed by hundreds of other human ships. Some were military vessels, others were converted cargo haulers and mining. Ships fitted with whatever weapons Earth's factories could produce. It was not an impressive fleet by galactic standards. It was everything humanity had. 3 days later, they came. The Empire's advanced fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. 100 warships, each one larger than Earth's biggest city. Their weapons could crack planets. Their shields could stop nuclear fire. Admiral Gray watched from the command center as the enemy fleet formed battle lines. "How many ships do they have?" she asked. "Confirmed count is 96 heavy cruisers, 24 battleships," reported Colonel Mark Davis. "Each battleship carries enough firepower to level a continent. And we have 230 ships total. Most are converted civilian vessels." The numbers were not encouraging. But Admiral Gray had spent her career studying military history. She knew that numbers did not always determine victory. "Signal the fleet," she ordered. "Execute Plan Hornet." Captain Stone received the signal aboard the Defiance. Plan Hornet was humanity's desperate gamble. Instead of meeting the Empire in traditional battle lines, Earth's ships would attack in small groups, hitting fast and running before the enemy could respond. "All ships break formation," Alex commanded. "Attack pattern Delta. Target their sensor arrays and communication systems." The human fleet scattered like leaves in a storm. 20 ships here, 30 ships there, coming from all directions at once. The Empire's commanders had never seen such chaotic tactics. Commander Vex stood on his flagship's bridge, watching the tactical display with growing confusion. What are they doing? This is not how civilized species conduct war. His tactical officer, a reptilian creature named Captain Tor, studied the scanner readings. They appear to be swarming us, sir, like insects. Insects can be crushed, Vex replied. Open fire on the nearest group. The Imperial ships began firing their massive weapons. Beams of energy that could melt steel reached out across space. But the human ships were small and fast, dancing between the attacks like fighters avoiding a giant's fists. Defiance led a group of 12 ships in a diving attack on an Imperial battleship. Their weapons were tiny compared to the enemy's. Guns, but they aimed for specific targets: sensor domes, communication arrays, weapon control systems. Direct hit on their forward sensors, reported Lieutenant Baker. They're firing blind on that side. More human ships struck from different angles. The Imperial battleship was like a giant being attacked by wasps. Each sting was small, but together they began to add up. For the first time in 3,000 years, an Imperial fleet was taking damage from an inferior species. The battle raged for 18 hours. Human ships darted in and out of the Imperial formation like sharks attacking a whale. Every time the Empire tried to focus their massive guns on one group, 3 more groups would attack from different directions. Captain Stone wiped sweat from his face as the Defiance completed another attack run. His ship had taken hits, but the crew kept fighting. Around him, the bridge crew worked with the desperate efficiency of people who knew they were fighting for their world's survival. Enemy battleship Dominator is falling back, reported Lieutenant Baker. Her weapon systems are down to 30%. Good. Signal attack group Bravo. Time for their run. The human tactics were working, but at a cost. Earth had lost 43 ships, and more were damaged. The Empire was stronger than anyone had imagined. On his flagship, Commander Vex was learning a hard lesson. His tactical computers were designed to fight other Imperial-style fleets, massive ships, trading powerful blows until one side broke. They could not adapt to humanity's swarm tactics. Status report, Vex demanded. Captain Tor's scaled face showed worry. 7 ships with major damage, 19 with minor damage. But, sir, we've destroyed less than 50 enemy vessels. At this rate, double quotes. At this rate, what? At this rate, they will disable our fleet before we can destroy theirs. Vex stared at the tactical display. For 3,000 years, the Empire had won through superior firepower and intimidation. No species had ever dared to fight back this hard. Signal the fleet, he ordered. Fall back to minimum weapons range. Reform battle lines. But Admiral Gray was not going to let them regroup. From Earth Command, she watched the Imperial fleet trying to reorganize and saw her chance. All ships, this is Admiral Gray. The enemy is retreating to long range. Execute Plan Hammer. Plan Hammer was the second phase of Earth's defense. While the Empire pulled back, humanity's converted cargo ships and mining vessels moved forward. These ships carried humanity's secret weapon, nuclear mining charges. Originally designed to break apart asteroids. Captain Stone watched as 50 human ships, all volunteers, accelerated toward the Imperial fleet. Each ship carried enough nuclear explosives to level a mountain. Godspeed, Hammer Group, Alex whispered. The mining ships crashed into the Imperial formation like meteors. Their crews had already evacuated in escape pods, leaving the ships on automatic pilot. When the nuclear charges detonated, space lit up with artificial suns. 6 Imperial ships were destroyed outright. 12 more were crippled. For the first time in 3 millennia, an Imperial fleet was losing. News of the battle spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. On 1,000 worlds, enslaved species whispered the impossible. Humans had made. The Empire bleed dot in the Imperial capital. Emperor Drac himself reviewed the battle reports. The ancient ruler had conquered more worlds than he could count. His empire stretched across half the galaxy. No species had ever stood against him for more than a few days. How many ships did we lose to these? Humans? The Emperor asked. His military advisor, General Kane, delivered the news with visible reluctance. 18 ships destroyed, 31 damaged beyond immediate repair, sir. The humans lost 94 vessels. And their fleet? Still operational, still fighting. The Emperor's scaled fist crashed down on his throne's armrest. 120 ships should have been enough to crush 1,000 human vessels. What is different about this species? General Kane had studied the battle recordings. They fight without regard for military doctrine, my lord. Their tactics are unpredictable, and they seem to value individual survival less than collective victory. Explain. When their ships are damaged beyond repair, the crews often ram them into our vessels rather than surrender. They call it going out fighting. It is unprecedented. Meanwhile, at the edge of the solar system, the Imperial fleet faced a decision. Commander Vex had lost a third of his ships, but reinforcements were coming. The Second Imperial Fleet was only 2 days away. Captain Stone stood on the bridge of the heavily damaged Defiance. His ship had taken hits that would have destroyed most vessels, but his crew had managed emergency repairs using spare parts and sheer determination. Sir, Lieutenant Baker reported, we're detecting hyperspace signatures, multiple contacts. Alex felt his heart sink. More Imperial ships meant the end of their desperate defense, but the signatures were coming from the wrong direction. Sir, those aren't Imperial ships, Baker said, excitement creeping into his voice. I think they're from other species. The main screen activated. A face appeared that was not human, but also not Imperial. The alien had blue skin and 4 arms, and when it spoke, its voice carried hope instead of threats. Human ships, this is Captain Zoe of the Free Worlds Alliance. We have come to stand with you. The line you have drawn is our line too. Behind the alien ship came dozens of others. Species that had escaped Imperial conquest, rebels who had fled their homeworlds, pirates who had decided they hated the Empire more than they loved easy prey. This is Captain Stone of Earth Defense, Alex replied. We're honored to have you with us. The honor is ours, Captain. For 3,000 years, no one has made the Empire retreat. Today, we all fight as humans. The combined fleet turned to face the approaching Imperial reinforcements. Earth was no longer alone. The Second Battle of Earth lasted 3 days. When it ended, the Imperial fleet was scattered to the winds. Commander Vex's flagship limped back to Imperial space with news that would shake the Empire to its foundations. Humanity could not be conquered. More importantly, humanity had allies. The victory at Earth sparked rebellions across the galaxy. Species that had submitted to Imperial rule for centuries suddenly remembered what freedom meant. The Free Worlds Alliance grew from dozens of ships to thousands. 6 months after Earth drew its line, Captain Stone found himself promoted to Admiral and commanding a mixed fleet of human and alien vessels. They were patrolling the border between free space and the shrinking Empire. Status report. Alex requested from his new flagship, the Liberation. No Imperial activity in this sector for 2 weeks, reported his new tactical officer, a 4-armed alien named Captain Jim. Our intelligence suggests they're pulling back to their core systems. Good. What about the refugee convoys? 3 more worlds have declared independence this week. The convoy from the Tau system should arrive tomorrow with 2 million freed slaves. Alex nodded. The galaxy was changing, 1 world at a time. The Empire still existed, but it no longer expanded. For the first time in 3 millennia, it was shrinking. On Earth, Admiral Gray reviewed reports from across known space. Humanity had become the unofficial leaders of the Free Worlds Alliance, not through conquest, but through example. Other species looked to humans not as rulers, but as the people who had shown them that the Empire could be defeated. "The Emperor has requested negotiations," reported Colonel Davis. Admiral Gray smiled. "After 3,000 years of demanding surrender, now he wants to talk. What are our terms?" "Complete independence for all Alliance worlds, reparations for conquered species, and a formal treaty recognizing the new borders. And if he refuses, then we continue liberating his worlds, one system at a time." The Emperor did negotiate. The Treaty of Earth established the first formal limits on imperial expansion in galactic history. The Empire kept its core systems, but it could no longer conquer new worlds or enslave new species. Humanity had drawn a line in space, and the line had held. Years later, when historians wrote about the end of the Imperial Age, they would mark it from a simple moment, when Captain Alex Stone looked at an alien commander and said, "We reject your demands." It was the day Earth drew the line, and the galaxy would never be the same.